That's fine. That would be wonderful.
Sure, absolutely.
So, because I had to show,
I didn't know what they were doing. That's why I didn't do it.
Ready to get started with the meeting, please? All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please remain standing for the invocation from the Reverend Dr. William King of the Living Word Bible Fellowship. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow our heads, please. Eternal God, our Father in heaven, we pray that you be gracious unto your servants this evening, our mayor, our township council, all of the duly elected and appointed officials of this township. We pray that you give them the strength they need for the tasks of the day. Guide them in their labors. When and if they are tempted to wonder if a righteous peace is an impossible dream, remind them and us that you are not senile, you're not asleep or defeated. A different world cannot be built by indifferent people, so let us never give up hope of the possibility of change. And when we feel the pressure of crisis, remind us that you have plenty of time. Remind us that you are never in a hurry, that you will not be rushed by the deadlines of impatient men or by the violence of the wicked. Give us the grace to wait upon the Lord, for those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So we pray that you grant these mercies unto your servants. In Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. King.
You're welcome.
Same here, take care now.
This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the schedule of meetings of the Township Council established and adopted by the Township Council, which scheduled designating the time, date, and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. For using an electronic amplifier and recording device in order to obtain audible and clear record, we request that all those wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly into the microphone. The recording device to be solely utilized by the Township Clerk's Office shall be the official record of Township Council meetings. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Evans? Here. Mr. Hutchison?
Present.
Mr. Grabowski?
Present.
Mr. Schmidt? Mrs. Gentek? Here. Mr. Mercado?
Present.
Mr. Bianchini?
Present.
Mayor Mayer?
Here.
Mr. Moffa?
Present.
Mr. Lechner?
Here.
Chief Earl?
Here.
Mr. Carlemere?
Here.
Mr. Cardis?
Here.
We have presentations. The first one is Blackwood Farmers Market.
Good evening. My name is Gloria Pascarello. I live at 109 Westlake Avenue, Blackwood, New Jersey, and I am representing the Blackwood West Development, who is in charge of the Blackwood Farmers Market. It's my pleasure to thank everybody on the committee, especially Mayor Mayer and the Township Council, in appreciation of their continued support for our third annual Farmers Market, which we do appreciate. We also would like to present all of you with our first, actually, what is it? It's a recipe collection book for our first 2 years of the market. If you haven't been to the market, you will note that we do give out recipes that go with what is being sold that week. So if it's cucumbers, if it's watermelon, these are the recipes for those items. So we do gear it to that. We also like to thank Michelle for the green team and their input, and Sarah, who came and did some children's book reading, which they love greatly, and we want to continue it next year. Mayor, who gave us a bag for a couple hours for Ask the Mayor, and nobody hung them, so that was great. Okay. And Lenny Moffat for doing such a nice job in cleaning up and helping us get set. And also, not least but not last, okay, is the police chief. All right, the special police were wonderful. The police who came through were wonderful, so we thank you very much for all your support, and we hope you accept this. Okay?
Thank you.
Who would like it?
Thank you. Chief?
Good evening, Mr. President, good evening, Council, and Mayor. Mr. President, I ask that you come forward, please, and assist in our presentation. Mayor. Ask that our K-9 team please come forward also. Wherever you can fit without fighting anyone. You want to go across? You want to space out a little more? Tonight we are honoring some very, very great achievements by our K-9 team here at the Gloucester Township Police Department. Just want to give a little background on the K-9 team and the 4 K-9 officers and their partners that we have with us here tonight. Starting with Corporal Mark Pickard, right here with us tonight. He's been with the K-9 unit since 1999, and he serves with K-9 Maximus here today, also known as Max. And Corporal Pickard is a certified supervising police K-9 trainer, and that means some significance that I'll tell you a little bit about as we move forward in the next few minutes. K-9 Maximus is certified both as a patrol and narcotics dog. And also with us today is Corporal James Kalin and his K-9 partner Brutus. And Corporal Kalin is also a certified supervising police K-9 trainer, has been with the unit since 1999, and Brutus is also a nationally certified patrol and narcotics dog. With us also today is Patrolman James Clark and his partner Nero. And Patrolman Clark has been with the unit since 2008. K-9 Nero is also a nationally certified narcotics and patrol dog. And also, Officer Clark, in addition to serving with the Gloucester Township Police Department, served as a K-9 handler in the United States Air Force before joining us here in the Gloucester Township Police Department. And Patrolman Chris Derace and his K-9 partner Arrow has been with the K-9 unit since 2011. And K-9 Arrow is also a nationally certified patrol and narcotics dog. I had mentioned that Corporal Pickard and Corporal Kalin are police and supervising K-9 instructors, and that means that we do our own K-9 training here in-house in Gloucester Township, which of course saves us some travel time, expenses, and when you hear the achievements that we have tonight, it's a remarkable feat that our 2 K-9 trainers have done, that we're going to talk about these awards tonight. Our K-9 team here in Gloucester Township traveled to the United States Police K-9 Association in Detroit Lakes, in Minnesota, just this past September. September 18th to December 23rd. And that event brings K-9 teams from all over the world to compete and train against one another. And training is a key concept about the work that they do there together. All 4 of our K-9 team participated in that training, and they compete in 6 different categories. And they are obedience, agility, evidence search, suspect search, criminal apprehension, and criminal apprehension with gunfire. The K-9 teams were eligible for these awards because of their individual events, and that they to compete against these 20 top teams in the nation that competed that day, just in this particular category. All 4 of the Gloucester Township Police K-9 teams behind won significant awards during this event and this training competition. And I'll say that Patrolman Chris Derace and his K-9 Arrow finished 7th overall and received special honors in criminal apprehension, and taking 5th place overall in that certification as well. And please know that finishing 7th place overall is an amazing accomplishment for Patrolman Derace, who is our newest K-9 handler. And that it was reported back from the training competition as a first-time competitor. The achievement of Officer Derace is an accomplishment that was reportedly to have been only done for the third time in 40 years by a first-year canine handler. So congratulations, of course, to Officer Gerace and his partner canine. Corporal Mark Pickard and Canine Maximus finished 18th place overall, and Corporal Pickard also received the special honors and was presented the Monza Award, which honored Canine Schultz, who was killed in the line of duty last November, and was the recipient of the top case of the year of the United States Police Canine Association. So congratulations to Corporal Pickard as well. The most significant achievement that the canine team earned is, in fact, of a team. And it is all four individuals as a team representing the Gloucester Township Police Department, representing the community of Gloucester Township throughout the country. And I am proud to say that Corporal Pickard and Max, Corporal Kalin and Brutus, Officer Clark and Nero, and Officer Gerace and Arrow finished second in the nation for a police canine team. So with that, I want to present with them a Chief's... Just want to hand me that. And Mayor, could you help me present too? This is presented to Corporal Pickard, a Chief's letter of outstanding police work for their team's accomplishments. Corporal Kalin. Patrolman Clark. And Patrolman Gerace. And I want to say a special thanks to Mayor and Council for their support of the K-9 team, and a very special support to the community. Both K-9 Arrow and K-9 Max were purchased with donations from the memorial donations of K-9 Schultz. And look at the result from all of the sacrifice and all the commitment made by the community. Thank the Gloucester Township police officers with us tonight and all the officers of the Gloucester Township Police Department for supporting the K-9 unit, because it really was a family and a team that allowed them to earn this. So again, thank you for joining us, and Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was wondering why the Chief gave me the plaques to hand to the officers, but it's certainly an honor to recognize our K-9 division. It's as we approach the 1-year anniversary of the death of K-9 Schultz, we saw our community come together for Corporal Pickard and his family, and for our police department and for this community. And out of that, really, today is a celebration. It's a celebration of the growth of our K-9 department, as well as a celebration of the acknowledgments that they have received for their many, many hours of hard work and their training. And so on behalf of our Gloucester Township Council, it's an honor for us to present you with these plaques, and certainly, we are even better today for the efforts that you have given and for our residents' safety that you do provide each and every day. So we thank you very, very much for that, and congratulate you on a job well done. And I think next year's in Florida. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, they raise money through private donations to go to the national tournaments, and again, that is a tribute to our community that helps fund that trip, and then it's a tribute to them to bring home a trophy like that. So congratulations to all of you. The only thing I knew today, standing over there next to Glenn, was I just had to outrun Glenn. So that's and I never saw him stand so still, actually, over there. So congratulations, Chief.
I ask that Mr. Kevin Atkinson please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to honor a manager of the Entenmann's bakery here in Gloucester Township. And the Gloucester Township Police Department launched a new program, a new policing initiative, just about a year and a half ago, of focusing on 4 principles, and that's our police personnel, community, operations, and crime. And those principles focused on that everything that we will do will help involve partnership, help involve the community in a way. And here we have a gentleman that has undertaken this and partnered with us, and that partnership comes out evident here. We have many for a variety of events here in Gloucester Township, for both the community and neighborhood events, different events that we have going on for different crime events, and our officers that come out to, our residents that come out to. And it's nice to sometimes have those refreshments. There's that just beginning time where we can kind of exchange information and exchange ideas. And it's Mr. Atkinson here that provides those refreshments at no cost on many, many occasions. And we're so lucky to have a gentleman that is making such a commitment to our policing program and to the community of Gloucester Township. So it's with great honor that I present to Mr. Atkinson and the Entenmann's Bakery in appreciation for their ongoing support to the Gloucester Township Police Department. Presented this day, October 24th, 2011.
Well, Mr. Atkinson, just to follow up on what the Chief said, we really appreciate you being a partner in our community. As a business in Gloucester Township, you help make the quality of life here for our residents even more enjoyable. And by your participation and your help with providing the refreshments and the food for what the Chief referred to, we certainly appreciate you doing that and for being a partner again in Gloucester Township. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corporal Kalin and Corporal Pickard, and wanted to talk about their event and make a presentation as well.
How you doing? On behalf of the K9 unit, Gloucester Township, like you heard, we took second place, lost first place by only 2 points. Out of a total of 2,800 points awarded as a team, each guy is able to earn up to 700 points. We came in second to a team from Minnesota. I don't know if anyone watches Animal Planet, but they're well recognized. A lot of support with their K9 units, and they've been around for a long time. And next year, hopefully, we'll have them with a little better showing. Every one of us, as far as competing, if you look back on it, we could have, should have, and would have done a lot better. Giving away points, first time Chris ever competed. Me and Jimmy, all of us are actually pretty new at competing on a national level, and they do compete, take points away a little more strict than they do in a region competition. But we're still proud. We took second place, and this trophy here is awarded to our department and presented to the Chief. Put that on your desk. And like the Chief also and the Mayor touched on, we get a lot of our support. We sell t-shirts to help our way through, which a lot of people purchase them in the past, and we also get some donations from private corporations and citizens. And without their support, without the Mayor's support, without the Chief's support, captains and the police department, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And we got you a little picture of us, and you can put that right next to the trophy. I really appreciate it.
Certainly, I thank you from all the police department. This will be very proud to be displayed. And just a message to everyone that's here tonight. You have to realize how much dedication and time that they put into training their police canines. It is so significant that they do not make this achievement simply by working their 40 hours in a week. It's we know the partnership and the companionship that they have with their canine partner
but it's an everyday experience that they're working with their partner, and this is the result. So you've made the Gloucester Township Gloucester Township look very, very proud.
And you see trophies today, okay? We go to our trials for our certification, okay? The trophies are one way to to gauge our unit. So if someone comes to the chief and asks the chief, how's your unit? You don't know unless we go to a competition and all that. So he can say our unit, second best in the country.
Congratulations.
We will break for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Hey, Chief, how you doing? Congratulations. I read that in the
I should say 4-4-18, but still, I guess you get it. Yeah, very much. Hey, Ken, how you doing? Now, one's a Malinois. Yeah, the brown one. It's kind of disappointing all at the same time.
Okay. There's like the three black Germans.
They're nice ones.
Australia, they're Japanese. I think Japanese, in Japan, they right though, that way, and there's a high demand for that breed.
Yeah, I read the
It says nothing about it.
He is fast.
He looks like a thoroughbred.
It's amazing to watch.
Chief, you got one more second?
Yes. Maybe I will take this picture.
I embarrassed my grandson yesterday.
More than enough.
Fine, and he's an immature. This happens. Hi, how you doing? But he comes home and he's soggy. He's touching my butt. One said, I could take you. And I don't know, he said he could take you. I said, that's a threat. So, I left him there, but I walked to the park. And I found the crew. And I said, when you make a statement like that, that makes him feel not safe.
Oh, definitely.
And that's intimidating. I said, I didn't holler. I said, my parents said the right things, you know. But I said, you know, there's a sentence you have in school about we're out here too. So he knows the. Yeah, they're about the same size, the same age. People he knew. Yeah. But he's just an easy mark because he's one of those that's he's got an IEP. He's just, you know. But it was the comment that got me. And I thought, if he doesn't feel safe, that's not right. So I just said to the kids, I said, you know, if it happens again, a police car will pull up, an officer will come down, and he will talk to you and your parents. I didn't get the school involved. I just figured you and your parents, you know. But I just wanted to, I'm like, I don't want to push it any further, but, you know, they're at the park, and really, he's allowed to the park, but they have those bicycle helmets in the back. Will they come back? Yeah, well, these are just minor little ones. And then from there, the kids go down into the ravine, which they're not allowed to do either. So I'm like, you know, I said, if one kid isn't allowed to be back here, he should. And if they get cleared out, and the fence get put up, and we don't have this problem, you know. But we're going to wait and see, because I don't want them getting beat up emotionally.
Mrs. Evans here, Mr. Hutchinson.
You know what I mean? You don't want grandmothers going.
Mr. Schmidt. Gentek here. Mr. Mercado.
Present.
Mr. Bianchini.
Present. Before we have the first public portion, I just want to make an announcement about the agenda. On the agenda, we have an ordinance for second reading and public hearing. And after reviewing this with Mr. Cardis, our business administrator, I'm going to ask council to pull this, or motion to hold this, because Mr. Cardis was not completed his review of financing terms, and therefore he's not finished or able to give council his analysis. So that ordinance O-11-21 will be asked to be tabled when we get to it. With that, we'll have the first public portion. Anyone asking, having any questions on any agenda items, please raise your hand, come to the microphone. Mr. Barry.
Good evening.
Castleberry, Rangers Drive. I just want to say thank you for tabling that ordinance. That if Mr. Vargas, you don't feel that you've had the opportunity to do the analysis on it, thank you for not moving forward when you have all the answers.
I'm still looking at it.
Oh, absolutely. I realize that it'll come back in the future weeks, but thank you for not trying to rush it through tonight if you are not sure on what those numbers are.
I still have time to look at it.
Absolutely. So just again, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Maureen?
I'm McLaughlin, 125 Empire. I look forward to seeing the analysis when it's completed. Is the target at the next council meeting?
Well, I think Mr. Cardis relayed to me that he's hoping to have the analysis completed so we can discuss it at the workshop.
Oh, okay. All right, great. I do have a question on the consent agenda 306. Could you explain what that project is?
It's the expansion of the Veterans Park, the trail there. Lane, you want to comment on that? The trail, it's going to a half-mile loop now.
The trail is going to be expanded 2 foot wider. It needs to be top coated, and we're actually adding a short loop at the end of it, and it'll make it a full half-mile track. The track is due to be redone, so we just made a few adjustments to it to make it better.
Well, I guess the thing that concerns me is those few adjustments are costing $67,000.
No, that's incorrect.
Oh,
the trail does need to be redone, and that trail would probably cost at least $60,000 just to redo the trail. We added a couple extras in as part of doing the trail over again anyway. So it's in need of being redone. If you walk the trail lately, you'll see the grass is growing through it. There's not enough room to walk by it anymore. There's a few spots that are dipped, and they're actually dangerous. So we're going to spend this money anyway, so we added in a few extra spots, again, making it a little bit wider, and adding this, it's a small loop at the end where the basketball court is that makes it a full half mile.
So that portion
it's only
of
200 feet, actually.
That portion of it costs $7,000, and the $60,000 is for repairs?
It'll cost at least $60,000. The estimates I got originally to do just the trail to redo it as is was $60,000.
Are they digging it up, or?
No, they're going to dig 2 foot wider. They're going to put asphalt in, and then they're going to coat the entire thing. It'll be milled where it matches the concrete, so that there won't be any tripping hazard or anything like that. And then we're actually having lines put in. It'll give you distances as you go around the track.
Okay, so part of that $60,000 is widening it.
No, part of the $60,000 was to redo the track as is.
Oh.
That was the original number that I received. The original number I got to do the whole thing was $82,000. This came in. This went out to bid, and came into 67. It's not broken down into parts like that. It's broken down as a whole package. But that's what I was told originally what it would cost. So we have a contractor that's willing to come in at $67,000 and do the whole thing.
And I'm not questioning your numbers. It seems a little strange that we're going to add 2 feet all around, and it costs more to just fix what's there than add that. You're saying that 2 feet is part of $7,000 then?
Yeah, the two.
From this contractor, yes.
Right. So
yeah.
why is it costing so much to just fix it?
Because it's not broken down that way in the spec. When I got the original estimates and I worked on it originally, it was $60,000 just to recoat the asphalt. And the original number I got to do it was $82,000. It went out to bid. Contractor bid the entire package. He did not break it down, and the entire package came out to $67,000. How much of that he's charging to coat, I don't know. How much he's charging to do just the extra piece, I don't know. It came in one package.
And it's under the estimated amount that we have set aside.
Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
Thank you. Ray?
Community Council, Ray Poldor. On the consent agenda, 299, there's a host of, you're looking to authorize payment of bills. Looking at a list of this great number of expenses. Before you go ahead and approve this, is there any way that you would speak to the public on the details of some of these bills. Some of them are pretty substantial. There really is not a whole lot of explanation with them. This way we would know where the reason these bills are being submitted and that we're paying. They range anywhere from $1 million down to $54.
Ray, you have a question on any particular one, and maybe Mr. Partis can help you right now.
First one that comes to mind is $1,000,007, Grand Turk Equipment Company.
Yes, that's for the recycling trucks. We're purchasing new recycling trucks.
It's under the capital.
Correct. It's in our capital budget.
Just a curiosity type question, Clementon Park and Splash World.
I believe that's for tickets involved with the rec center.
Yeah, that we sell to our residents.
They have to find them.
Radio Shack, Radio City Entertainment.
Same thing. People pay money for those tickets and it basically washes.
The Christmas trip.
R&R Radar Incorporated.
Not sure about that one.
We're going to authorize this and we're not sure what it is.
Well, I mean, Ray, we have almost 300 different bills on a typical bill list.
Chief knows what that one is. Chief?
Yes, it's a certification of the radar units. They're calibrated and tested.
Okay. Like I said,
I welcome a call from you anytime during the day. I'm here. I was here all day today. If you have questions, call me.
and I understand.
I can actually pull the voucher for it possibly.
And I did not mean to put you on the spot. I was looking with a great number of these.
I would appreciate the phone call if you could do that.
Yeah, and again, I apologize if you feel that I put you on the spot. That was not my purpose. Just getting some definition to a host of bills that
Like I said,
don't have a lot of explanation.
Over 300 different bills on each bill list, so.
I couldn't do your job, Mr. Fartis, and you and I have spoken before, so
Call me
please
anytime.
accept my apology if I put you on the spot.
I'm available anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Anyone else? John?
Good evening, John Tritt, 1 West Thompson Avenue, Gloucester City. In terms of the ordinance that you removed from the agenda tonight and the cost analysis, is it typical for you to approve on first reading without a cost analysis and have that cost analysis done by the second?
We've approved ordinances in the past and then had a question about them and then held it until we got, a question resolved or a situation resolved. It doesn't happen often.
And if you knew you were going to hold it, which is fine, is there a reason why it was on the agenda and why it just didn't appear next month, or is it because the way you voted on it last month to appear in this week, or last week to appear in this week's agenda?
I never told the clerk to pull it off the agenda.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, you have? Take your time.
Sarah Young, Ariel, New Jersey. Good evening, everyone. You heard me speak several times about the bottleneck that I'm thinking about going down there and do something on Sickleville Road. I'm very concerned about the neighbors who get up at 4:35, 6 o'clock trying to get on 42 because of some little poles that block them from going up. I'd like to question the engineer of our township. I've been waiting patiently to hear from someone, and my patience just about run out. It seemed like someone could direct me so that I could help the neighbors to go to work in the mornings. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? By Wawa. We never had the trouble until Wawa came. And they put some little poles up there and blocked the entrance to 42. And it is very sad. Can anyone help me?
The reason for that blocking of one lane in 42 is that's blocking the lane that would cross the intersection of Ward Avenue. The police department, part of that, had a history of accidents as people were making left turns across Cyclable Road into Ward Lane. There'd be openings left in the gap to come through, but they wouldn't see people riding along the right-hand lane or the shoulder lane, and they would be the collision would be those vehicles hitting the side of the vehicles turning left. It was felt at the time when the Wawa went in to eliminate that. The best practice would be to eliminate that lane across in front of Wawa, so we wouldn't have vehicles going across the intersection of that lane and be hidden by vehicles parked in the left-hand lane. And that's why they were put there, to prevent people from using that lane to get on Route 42.
Well, who do we have to see to bring it down so that we can go to work in the morning? Who pay the taxes here?
Take them down. It's going to cause more accidents. I don't know if the police department are having a history of accidents still there or not, so I don't think we've done it. I know.
Well, I've lived here since 1970. And have you seen an accident there?
I haven't seen any accidents either before or after, because I don't use that often, but I do know it's a bottleneck there.
It's a terrible bottleneck.
They're also county roads, so anything there has to be done in conjunction with the county. We can look at it again if the mayor and the council, the committee so desires in the future, but right now, tell you what I'll do, Sarah. I'll talk to the county about it, because it is their road, so we'll take it from there.
Chief, would you have any data that would tell us what's going on down there?
Yes, I mean, we can review past crashes lately. Obviously, I have to research that. I mean, I do remember Mr. Campbell exactly what he's talking about. I think him and I probably spoke a number of years ago, and there was an issue that needed to be addressed to have those codes installed. So certainly we can review the crash data and speak to Mr. Campbell and the county engineer to see. But I think there's been an improvement over time there since the installation of those poles.
Well, could you supply that and therefore we can maybe give that to Sarah so she can see what's going on?
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you. And while you're looking into it, could somebody look into the street called Peter Cheeseman? They tore it up and they patched up a little hole, and now it's coming up again. Can't they do a little professional job there rather than what they have there now? Could someone come out and look at the road and
Sure.
Please?
I'm trying to remember any recent statements. Sure, we'll look at Peter Cheeseman, yes.
Can you do that and for us at the workshop? Or?
Okay, at the workshop. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Maureen?
Welcome, 125 Empire. This is a follow-up question to Mrs. Young. Now that we have the 42 entrance and exit, why can't we just make Orr Road a one-way street? I mean, do it, going, what would that be considered, north, so that people can go into Wawa if they want? But I don't really see the need for Orr Road anymore with those ramps.
You're saying so you wouldn't be able to come out onto Cyclable Road?
Yeah, and then this way it would alleviate an awful lot of traffic. Not only that, but it's dangerous. I mean, I've seen people that aren't familiar with that area slam on their brakes and cut around them real fast. I don't know if there's been any accidents due to that, but it doesn't sound like brain surgery to me. We have we have all these entrances from 42 that go all over the place. Make it a one-way.
I mean, we could certainly look at it, but I mean, as it could impact traffic signals back on to the new intersection. Not saying it couldn't be explored. I don't know, but there would have to be some engineering involvement or review to see how that would impact other highways. So
hopefully, the data chief will show what Maureen's saying. If there's people coming out getting hit, maybe the data will tell us that, and maybe that could be an option.
Because personally, I don't think I'd want to come out of Orr Road to make a left. To me, that's kind of crazy with the amount of traffic that's there and, blind spots and all that stuff. I would take the ramps. I mean, the ramps are beautiful. They get you wherever you want to go down there. So if you consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. Anyone else? See no other hands? Close the first public portion. Bids?
Veterans Park expansion.
Motion to accept bids?
So moved.
Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Evans? Yes. Mr. Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Grabowski?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintek? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. We have an ordinance of second reading and a public hearing, and I am going to ask council to table this.
Move the table. Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Evans? Yes. Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Grabowski?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintek? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Now have resolutions of consent agenda. If any council person wishes to remove any of them, please let me know now. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Evans? Yes. Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Grabowski?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintek? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. The resolution on the regular agenda should be 307, not 308. Is that correct? Okay. The resolution R-11-10-307.
Resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Gloucester, County of Camden, New Jersey, authorizing the submission of an application to the New Jersey Local Finance Board pursuant to NJSA 58:11B9 and NJSA 40A:2-26.
As this resolution states, this is an application to the local finance board. Tom, you want to add to that?
It's an application to the local finance board for NJEIT financing, which is the same financing we used for Cherrywood and for Lake Gwinnett. I believe this is a furtherance of the Cherrywood project.
This is the environmental infrastructure.
Yes.
Okay. Motion to adopt.
Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Evans? Yes. Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Grabowski?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintek? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Motions?
RA 1297, GTGAA, for December 28th.
Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Evans? Yes. Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Grabowski?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt? Mrs. Gintek? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Mayor's report?
Thank you, Mr. President and members of council. Good evening. I wanted to first bring to your attention an announcement that we made a couple of weeks ago regarding bullying in our schools. And it's an announcement that brought together our police department as well as both our local and our regional schools to combat bullying, which really is in every community. But here in Gloucester Township, we are taking a very proactive approach. And I want to thank Chief Earl, who had the vision of pulling together a three-pronged program that gives teens the ability to counsel one another. Also looks to providing different types of counseling for 13 years of age and older children as well as younger than 13. And this is called Project Battle. That's bullying awareness through law enforcement. It is my hope that it is a statewide model. I think we are really the only community in this area, if not New Jersey, that has taken this very proactive approach. And I want to thank again our police department as well as both the local and regional school districts for their participation in that program. Also, this week we are making an announcement where we are opening the domestic violence quiet room this Wednesday. I want to thank council. This is really the old room that you used to use or have access to, where you had desks and your mail slots. And so this is, because of your willingness to give up that space here in the municipal building, we are now dedicating this quiet room. One of the things that I saw early last year is unfortunately when there is a domestic violence situation, especially involving young children, that we really did not have a place to put the children. They were really waiting in the waiting room downstairs in the police station. And as you know, that is a very traumatic event for children. And so, we we work to redo that room. We have toys up there for the children and a counseling room for the victim. And so we will be making that dedication on Wednesday. And again, I thank you for allowing us to use that space. We have completed our energy audits, both here through the municipality and the various buildings in Gloucester Township from the municipal perspective, as well as the regional school board. And so we have that audit, and we are now applying to the BPU for their portion of the funding for that. This Saturday, from 10 to 2, we are having Operation Take Back New Jersey. This is where individuals who have old prescription drugs can discard them, bring them to our senior center, I believe it's our community center next door, from 10 to 2 on this Saturday to properly discard those drugs. And, I think that's important from the perspective, especially children today are getting addicted to these prescription drugs, and they're finding them in at their homes, and even though they are expired, it's still something that we are now providing that type of service here in Gloucester Township. And then lastly, I want to thank everyone who participated in the Gloucester Township Make a Difference Day. This past Saturday, we had events throughout the town, Glen Landing Middle School, as well as the Gabriel Davies Tavern. And so I thank everyone who participated in that, the many volunteers that came together. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We do not have any questions from the GTE Gov Access. We will have our second public portion in which to speak on any subject. Please raise your hand. Come to the Joanne.
Dwayne Carr, 50 Kermit Drive, Birchville. I have about 4 different things. When I was in Aldi's on Saturday, I was behind a lady who was checking out, and she had cases of pancakes, mix, and syrup, and all different things, and it was more than just a household thing. And she looked at me and she said, she's with St. Agnes, Our Lady of Hope, and their pantry was bare. They had no food to give to anybody. And the donations that they get to help people with their bills, they had to use to purchase food. And I'm thinking, that's our neighbors. They're the people that we, live next door to, and we don't know how troubled they are. You know me and my pie in the sky ideas, so I'm just going to throw something out there and you guys can refine it. But we have these meetings, and usually when you tell people to come, the whole auditorium is packed. Maybe we could have a box out in the lobby, and whenever anybody comes in, they just put a canned good. When you invite somebody to get an award, if the family just brings a can, it'll help somebody else out. And it can be distributed to either the Ministerium's pantry or the Baptist pantry or St. Agnes's pantry. And it's just helping our neighbor a little bit further. I know you've always got boxes out there for something, and pretty soon you won't be able to get by for all of the boxes, but just another thought. Maybe we can assist our neighbors.
Not a bad thought.
Okay, well, you guys can refine it. I just put it out there. Second was Make a Difference Day on Saturday. It was wonderful. The Public Works came, and we had a Weedlow Scout Troop and the Leo Lions, the teenagers from the Lions Club, and even some senior citizens who decided to make a difference. And they cleaned up the community garden, and it is phenomenal. And the kids learned while they were there. I mean, the dirt in that garden is phenomenal. It's great. You even have worms. But if you go by, it looks terrific, and it was a good learning experience for everybody there. Public Works cleaned out the carriage house. They moved out the bench so that it's not quite so private for the Lover's Lane crowd. And we put it in public, so anybody that wants to sit down, they're there for everybody to see. And they cleaned up the amphitheater and took the broken pieces. They did a beautiful job. all in preparation for number 3, our Ghost Weekend. On Friday, we're having our Ghost Overnighter, and we still have a couple tickets left, a few. And Saturday, I've been watching the weather all week, and it's been dry, dry, dry until tonight. So the wet that I see tonight, I hope will move off, because if it's wet, we won't have it. But Saturday night, hopefully, we will have our campfire. We will have our flashlight tours to Mr. Shuck's grave. We will have our dowsing rods and all different things. And we try to make it cost nominal so that, you know, teenagers can go somewhere and it's not costing an arm and a leg. Families can come and they don't have to spend a dime, but they can sit by the campfire and just watch their kids play. So pray for dry weather, and we should have a good night. And my fourth question, my grandchildren brought home something. I wanted to know who our liaison is with the elementary schools.
There is none.
There is none. I know Dan is with Black Horse Regional.
Dan has participated on the Channel 19.
Oh, okay, okay.
But there's no liaison to any of the school boards.
Okay. Well, given the fact that the school money takes more out of our taxes than anything, kids just came home on Friday or earlier to say that Choose didn't pass its testing, and it made me wonder. I know when Highland didn't match what they were supposed to do, the kids were able to pick whatever school they wanted to go to. They didn't have to be forced into one. But my question for you guys is, I know it's up to me, the citizen, to go to the Board of Ed to ask these questions, but I would like to implore that you go in my behalf as well. Because when I moved here in 1969, our school system made people move into Gloucester Township. It had such a rating and everything was wonderful. Right now, people are moving out. People are losing their houses and moving out. And if our school rating isn't up there, we're not going to bring new people in. But that's where the bulk of our money's going, on taxes. So I would appreciate if you would consider voicing our concern to the school board as to what's going on and how we can fix it. Thank you.
Thank you. Maureen?
I'm actually up for Mrs. Young. She has a question regarding Martha's Farm and would like to know what the status of the property is, what the plans are for the property, and just an overall.
Yeah, Ms. Young, we did an historical study, if you will. This was about 2 months ago, where council approved that to move forward. Because what we need to do is structurally rebuild, or whatever the correct terminology is, the walls and some of the other structures within that building. But we do not want to go forward with that until we had an architect specialized in historical places give us advice on that. That report did come in. I'm really glad to announce that we also have a $50,000 grant from the county to do work on Martha's Farm to shore up some of the leaks and things like that. That's there. And then also a $50,000 grant from the county to do work at Gabriel Davies Tavern, where we're going to replace the shingles on the roof. It's a wooden roof, wooden shingles, and it has to be done to historical specifications. So we'll be entering into that project as well.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Schmidt?
John Schmidt, Gloucester City. A few questions. tonight. Just going through some old notes and some old requests I've gotten from different places. I did get the job description of the business administrator. Does the business administrator, is he ever called upon to give legal advice to the council?
Business administrator
Yeah.
giving legal advice? I would tend to think he'd be practicing law without a license if he was asked to do that.
Recently I've been going through the budgets back to 95, 96. I guess I'll start out at 02. I know that's when you became council president, I want to say.
Nope.
No, not 02.
I'm sorry. I was on council starting in 2000. I became council president in 2000.
I went to 02 because I knew there was one person on here, and subsequently, and I saw some of the names, same names on the budget. I don't live here, but one thing I'm really interested in is watching where we go our money. Can you explain how in 9 years this township has seen a $2.3 million increase in its general operating budget? On average, $2.3 million since 2002.
Tom, you can also jump in on this, but like everyone else, the bills of electricity, gas, and healthcare, and gasoline, and everything else has gone up. I would imagine that is a big portion of it. Salaries have went up, so therefore you have increases from that point.
Health insurance, various insurances, debt service fluctuates depending on the year.
That was actually my next question with the debt service. I noticed that you did raise tax, at least in your general budget. I know there's ways to move money around. And last year, I guess I know you went through a transitional budget, and you're now on a calendar year budget. It seemed like looking at the calendar year budget from 2010, it was you paid almost over $600,000 more in your debt service. Was that money that you didn't put into the debt service this year used for something else?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, the debt, as I indicated before, debt service fluctuates depending on.
Right, but last year you spent $600,000 more in debt service than you did this calendar year. I think this year it's like, I want to say 5.4 something. Last year was 6.1 something.
I don't look at the budget in terms of whether an appropriation has more or less in it and determine where that money, if it's less, is being spent. What we do is put an overall budget together, and then once we complete our budget, the revenues in based on the annual financial statement unaudited, and the balance would be the amount to be raised by taxation. And so then, I mean, whatever monies are left over would go into the general fund for surplus.
And finally, it's been something that's been on the back burner, and someone had followed up with me with an email. It's something I've been meaning to ask, just haven't gotten around to it. And now I'm getting back to a point where I can focus in on take on a few more things. Back in February of this year, there was the Philadelphia Inquirer article, which I'm sure you've all read, about the Democratic Party chairman here in Gloucester Township, Mr. Pillow. With the FBI. Did the FBI ever take any documents from the township?
Yes, they did. They took the Department of Community Development files that dealt with one approval. I haven't heard any reports back. I reviewed them as they were on their way out, picking them up. I didn't see any problems with them. They were straightforward zoning board approvals. But nothing has come back to my knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gladden?
And Gladden, 44 Greensway. Couple things. Just one thing that he just brought up on the investigation. Gloucester Township's not being investigated no more, right? Is that correct?
There was never an investigation in Gloucester Township. Just for clarification, though, the files that were taken had nothing to do with the Democrat chairman. It had to do with one particular piece of property. And the question was with that individual owner, not anyone else.
Okay, so it does, because it looks like people don't want to do business with, I wouldn't do business with somebody that, is under investigation or anything like that. This weekend I had the opportunity to be a little humble and I went to a couple of veterans education, summaries. One was a class, one was just to get together with a bunch of veterans. And they're having a bad time out there. Super bad time. I'm talking about guys setting up tents in Fort Dix Woods because they know the area, so they just set up tents and they're living out there. Now, I'm not saying nothing like my town, hey, take on all this, but we got a lot of empty buildings in town, it seems. Buildings have been abandoned for years. Fiji's on the Black Horse Pike. The old super fresh building's been out, you know what I mean, I don't know, 15 years maybe. All these abandoned buildings in town. There doesn't seem like there's any kind of development going on. Like to rebuild these areas. Like there's no plan. Nobody seems like they're coming up with a plan to say, hey, we got to get these businesses in here. We got to get this land either knocked down, refurbished, do something with it. I drove through Deptford and they had an old ground round right by Dick's Sporting Good. They just knocked that building down right now. And they're going to figure out, maybe pave it and make it more of a parking space. But like, if you just drive around and you'll understand all these buildings are empty. We got to do something. I mean, it just seems like there's no plan. There's no.
I don't know if you've seen the Sun Bank on the Pike running. Let me finish. If you've seen the Sun Bank on the Pike that we got rid of that eyesore there. I don't know if you noticed the new buildings down at the shops across Keys that with the restaurants. A couple just opened. They're building a new Japanese hibachi restaurant there. I don't know if you noticed the fact that actually Club Fiji, somebody's interested in looking at that and developing that area. But there's been a host of other economic development initiatives, including the new interchange, which will bring economic development to Gloucester Township. We're going to be dedicating that bridge, I believe it is in a week or two. So there are things that is moving forward that perhaps you just haven't noticed.
Okay. One thing about that bridge you just mentioned on 42 that was just built, who paid for that?
The state.
The state paid for that? It was all state funding?
Yes. Well,
okay.
They may have gotten federal money, I don't know. It was primarily done
through the state. Okay. One other quick question about youth sports in this town, too. Youth sports is a big thing in the community. You know what I mean? People play baseball, lacrosse, soccer, football, baseball. And like, I came over across this week and I will have a discussion with a couple people after the meeting. But one thing you got to understand, kids are kids. They don't know anything, you know what I mean? They don't. But politics involving with kids kind of gets me upset. You know, that's just the big thing. Leave the kids out. You know what I mean? Some people feel threatened because, we've gone through life. I'm 38 years old. I've seen some stuff. You've seen some stuff. You've seen some stuff in your life. But the kids are just learning. And their parents are, participating in things. And I see where kids get neglected in the sports where, the coaches have their minds on just being daddy ball coaches and stuff like that. But honestly, when it comes to my kids, I really get offended when somebody talks to somebody about something, about political events that go on in this room. And they're going to bring it back to them and talk about me. You know what I mean? Because that jeopardized my kid a little bit. I feel that way. You know what I mean? Like if you guys all have the opportunity, my phone number, you know where I live. You can come talk to me and knock on my door. I got an open door policy just like government should be open. Other things, I'm running for office in this town. People are asking me, what's your plan? I tell them my plan. I mean, good luck to everybody here. I mean, I'm not here to be a thorn in your side. I'm not here to be someone that is just, what can I say, complaining about everything. But if I'm complaining about something, take a look at it. Because if one thing about a town or any place you go, like I have been to sporting complex where the town takes really pride in their sporting complex, and you walk through their sporting complex and you won't even think about dropping a piece of trash on the ground. You know what I mean? You would go to the trash can and throw it away. And then I go to our sporting complex and I see how they are, and I'm like, wow. No wonder why there's trash all over the place. No wonder why anybody's cared. Nobody wonder why everybody walks around their heads like this and they're sagging down. Because if we don't take pride in it, and that starts at the head leadership of this town, we don't take pride in it, nobody else is going to take pride in it. That's all I got to say. Thank you, and you guys have a nice day.
Yes, sir.
Over the past couple weeks, I've tried to address a couple of you.
Sorry, excuse me. Could you give me your address, please?
Joseph Pauly, 10 Bainbridge Court. Over the past couple of weeks, I've tried to address a couple of the council people and the mayor about the sustainable development. And while I've been talking to Ms. Gentek, I gave you some information to read. Can you tell me what you read?
Sir, what's the question?
I'm asking. I gave Ms. Gentek some information to read, and I would like to know what she read and what she learned.
Ms. Gentek, do you have any information? If not, we can...
Is that the same information you gave me?
Yes.
I didn't take a look at it. I didn't have a chance to take a look at it.
I appreciate your honesty, but Ms. Gentek told me she would be reading it in the next week.
And I also have been, I said to you I would read it. I didn't give you a definite time when I would read it. I have been doing a lot with the Sustainable Gloucester Township right now with some other things, but I will tell you I will look it over.
Okay, well, I wanted to give a background about the sustainable development, and I just wrote this blurb in like 15 minutes before I came here, so it's not going to be, I might be omitting some details, but on June 14th of 1992, the United Nations held a conference in Rio de Janeiro called Environment and Development, also known as the Earth Summit, where Agenda 21 was introduced. Agenda 21 defines itself as a comprehensive plan to be taken globally, nationally, and locally by organizations of the United Nations system in order to further its agenda of sustainable development. This can be found right on the United Nations website. 187 nations signed on. George Bush Sr. signed on for the U.S., and in 1993, through an executive order, Bill Clinton established the President's Council on Sustainable Development. This included a lot of environmental groups and cabinet agencies responsible for translation of Agenda 21. One of the stated objectives of Agenda 21 is the rewilding of America through the Wildlands Project. This would essentially remove human beings from half of the land in America and deem these areas core wilderness zones. Regardless of where your property once was, humans will not be allowed to set foot in this area. There would also be highly controlled and monitored buffer zones in these areas in which travel would be severely limited. Humans would be forced to live in compact micromanaged cities where travel would be controlled and tracked. This is the eventual effect of smart growth that it's going to look like. I ask that everybody looks this up and does their research on, if you go on the United Nations website under Agenda 21, and it will be right there under the Wildlands Project. One thing I also suggest that you research is called ICLEI, also known as Local Governments for Sustainability. If you go to their website, it states that ICLEI is an international association of local governments as well as national and regional local government organizations who made a commitment to sustainable development. This is all sounding a little crazy, but it's stated right on the ICLEI website. Just go to the programs on there and it's right there. We're essentially giving up the town's sovereignty by signing on to the sustainable development. It's a violation of private property rights, and this is basically government intruding on our private property. This will, it begins at the local level, but as the United Nations and ICLEI state, this will lead to state and national regulation and eventually pushed by an international government body. This is basically a redistribution of wealth, government control of every facet of our life, the economy, and they are implementing anti-free market principles using public-private partnerships. Basically, there are incentives, subsidies, and tax breaks for a chosen few that are privileged. And this is why I'm trying to get everybody to read about this. I'm not against going green on things, but if you guys made a mistake by signing on to this and by not researching this and not continuing to look into it and seeing what's going on, you're continuing to make the mistake, and when you do that, it's your obligation to fix it. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Cronin.
Good evening, Council. Tom Crone, right here in beautiful Gloucester Township. I have some questions tonight. We can make our way through these rather rapidly. We can expedite the matter. Mr. Bianchini, who was council president just prior to you?
Just prior to me was
Yes.
Mr. Greco, Rodney Greco.
And prior to that?
Prior to that was Mr. Sam Seiler. Am I right? That's correct.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can you tell us what the Gloucester Township Citizens for Government Reform happens to be?
Not governmental.
No, I'm just asking a question.
I have no knowledge.
I don't know what it is.
Would you be surprised if I said that was a PAC set up by Mr. Sam Seiler? Okay.
Whether it's set up by Sam Seiler or not, I mean, it might be a PAC, but whether it's set up by Sam Seiler, I don't know.
Okay. And would you happen to know, and you don't want to say no, but would you happen to know who the chairman of that particular PAC is today?
I do not.
Would you be surprised if I said Cynthia Carlemere? Oh, could be. Interesting.
Could be.
Who is Cynthia Carlemere?
She's my wife.
Does she hold any other position in this town?
In this town here?
Yes, sir.
What's the town, the housing authority chairperson?
Outstanding. Would you happen to know the treasurer of that particular PAC? Would you be surprised if I said Mary Ann Coyle? Who is Mary Ann Coyle?
Nice young lady who I believe is assistant in my office.
So Mary Ann Coyle is Mr. Carlemere's secretary.
I'm not sure if that's her title.
She's an assistant in my
He's an employee of Gloucester Township who sits as the treasurer of a political action committee.
She does.
Oh.
Tom, can I ask you a question?
You may.
Where are you going with this? Is it governmental or is it? Or you just?
Oh, it's all governmental. It's all governmental.
Well, if you know, if you're asking us questions, know the answers to it. Why do you ask us the questions?
I'm querying to see if anyone here happens to know the answer to the question. That's all there is to it.
Where are you going with this?
So it's actually really good tonight, Mr. Mercado, that I'm not sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher to you, so at least you heard me. So I really do appreciate that.
Okay.
But I want to return to Mr. Bianchini now, if that's okay with you. Outstanding. Thank you.
Outstanding.
Can you enlighten us on who Grand Turk happens to be? I believe it was mentioned earlier this evening.
I believe they're a vendor that I believe we purchased some Packers and right for some of the recycling.
So we gave him a check for $1 million tonight. That's what we did.
No, we awarded a contract based on.
I understand that, but they got a check for $1 million tonight. That's semantics, but they got $1 million check tonight.
We're awarded a bid.
I understand. We can, Mr. Carr, that's semantics.
Clear.
Yes or no, did they get $1 million check tonight?
You should know the process. The process is it went out for public bid. It was advertised and it was awarded.
Okay. But they received $1 million check tonight.
They were awarded a contract.
But there was a check cut tonight
They
for $1
provided a
million.
product. They deserve to be paid.
Okay. No one said they didn't. Does anyone know, because I know some of you are actually running for re-election right now, and this is where it has to do with government versus politics. Do any of you know if Grand Turk has contributed to any of you? And if so, the amount? The amount's $4,700. It's disturbing. That's just one. Mr. Carlemere's wife and secretary run a PAC that collects money to run the political operation of this government. That, Mr. Mercado, is why it's relevant. That is why it's relevant. And if I don't sound like Charlie Brown's teacher right now, it's a good thing. Now I'm going to end this right now. I want to walk away, and we'll smile and be friends. But I have an entire list here of people that have contributed to 4 separate PACs that are giving money to you as candidates. I find it further disturbing that the solicitor of this township, who gives advice to you, Mr. Bikini, on pay to play, has his secretary or assistant, whichever word we want to use, and his wife sitting as PAC chairman and treasurer. I'm going to go with that. Let's marinate on that a little bit. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too, sir. With no further business, we close the second public portion. Polling of directors and council, please.
Mr. Moffa.
Nothing to report at this time.
Mr. Lechner.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Chief Earl.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Carlemere.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Cardis.
Nothing to
Mrs. Evans.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. And Mr. Gladden, I do appreciate your comments tonight about the abandoned buildings and the veterans. I know when I went to visit Tent City a few years back, and I want to thank our housing authority who helped the gentleman that lives in the housing authority now. He lives in one of the apartments there. And it is a blessing to see that we were able to allow this veteran who, believe it or not, fought in Vietnam and didn't lose his toe until he slept in the tent for 6 years. So it's nice that Gloucester Township was able to open up and have the opportunity. When he went in there, it was like heaven. So it is important that we reach out and we help our vets. It's so important. And hopefully we continue on doing what we are doing in the township and seeing a lot of new businesses come to be. And Winslow getting a little upset because we're getting all the business, but that's okay. So thank you and have a great night.
Mr. Hutchison.
Some people choose to see the glass as half full. Some choose to see it as it's half empty. I have a feeling we heard from the people who see the glass as half empty this evening. I myself, Joanne, I went to Gabriel Davies Tavern. I didn't get to see you over there, but I saw the Girl Scouts working over there. And I was talking to one of the mothers of the Girl Scouts, and I said, you know, this is gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. My children and I have started running in the town, trying to get back into shape. This town is a great town. It's a beautiful place. We put a lot of money into our youth sports. We spread the money around as best we can, whether it's on the track outside or on the Veterans Park. We're doing a lot of things to beautify the town. I see this town as a wonderful place to live. Thank you.
Mr. Garbowski.
Again, thank the residents for coming out. Appreciate your comments. I'd like to congratulate our K-9 unit. I want to thank Edmonds for their service to the township, and congratulations to the farmers market. Chief, if you're not going to use that paperweight, I could use it. So, again, thank you for all coming out.
Mr. Schmidt.
I too would like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Thank you for your comments.
Mrs. Gentag.
I'd also like to thank everyone for coming out. I'd like to thank the farmers market for the cookbook. And the Green Team is looking forward to having a partnership again with you next year. And Sarah Barner, who she mentioned, is a high school student who came to us with that idea. So I'd really like to thank Sarah for that. I'd like to thank the police department for the bullying program. It is a much needed program, so thank you for that. I'd also like to thank you for the mayor and you doing the quiet room. That is a terrible time for a child, so I'm so glad that we have a place that could comfort them. I'd also, with the food pantry, Joanne, so for all of us sitting out here, we all have a lot of resources, and a lot of times kids have to collect things for service projects, so if we can all reach out, that would be great for us to be able to collect food, so I will put it out to all my neighbors also. And for the, I have had the opportunity, through the Green Team, we have been really working on our Buy Local program, and so I've gotten to see everything that we've been doing with our economic development. So, Mayor, you've been doing a great job with that, and everyone on the economic development team. We are bringing in some wonderful businesses, and I have heard a lot of talk about other businesses that are interested in coming. So I'm really proud of also living in Gloucester Township. People do want to come here. Thank you.
Mr. Mercado.
Congratulations to our honorees this evening. This Saturday, the Recreation Department will be holding their annual Halloween party from 4 o'clock with a screening of a TV movie, a movie in the rec center. That's from 4 to 7, Lenny? I believe 4 to 7. Okay. With that, have a good evening. Thank you for coming out.
Mr. Bain Koenig.
Yes, thank you for attending tonight's meeting. I want to give the congratulations to the K-9 unit, job well done, and to Mr. Atkinson and Entenmann's for partnering up with the township and providing the services that he did. The mayor earlier spoke about Take Back New Jersey, and it's near and dear to my heart, being a pharmacist, that it's epidemic in our community and across the state and across the nation of how individuals are taking unused narcotics or controlled substances and are selling them or giving them or taking them out of their parents or out of their home, and it's epidemic. A lot of times if you're watching, you'll see it at a Wawa or a place of a similar area that deals are going down all the time. There's a thing called bath salts. Kids are snorting, taking this different ways, and it's causing them to not only be in danger of their health, but it's also they're endangering others because they get into a psychosis that is very, very dangerous. And I know I spoke with the chief of police regarding that in our community. If you have unused drugs, even if they're not controlled substances, number one, do not flush them down the toilet. That pollutes our riverways, our waterways. Do not put them in the toilet or down the drain. Please bring them to the situation that we're having here. I think it's this weekend, as the mayor spoke earlier. Keep an eye on those controlled substances that you may have. I've been told by many, many people who have children that are battling that addiction. And once they can't get that, then they can turn to heroin. And once they're on heroin, we all know where that brings. So it's not just Gloucester Township, it's across this county, across this state, across this nation that we have this problem. And I think we need to encourage everybody to dispose of their unused pharmaceuticals in a proper way. And I would ask that everybody participate in that Take Back New Jersey. With that, I'll ask for adjournment.
So moved. Second. Thank you.
All those in favor? Thank you. Have a great night.
Good, how are you?
I know a lot of people support me, support you.